Why, hello, Noah. You got your pillows all set up.
Ready to go. Before we were about to podcast, you were arranging the pillows on the couch as if it mattered. And I was like, I'm about to ruin everything you're doing to get ready for podcasting. So
Actually, before the podcast, I set up all the equipment. I got everything ready, and then I went upstairs to do my hair and my makeup. And Noah was screaming, "It's 10 o'clock. It's 10:20. It's 10:25.
Screaming.
10:30. 10:31.
Unfair. First of all, you're over-exaggerating in every aspect. Was not screaming, simply communicating to a person who is upstairs while I'm downstairs. Screaming implies that there was like anger behind it. There was zero.
Hollering.
I was loudly letting you know what time it was, but I also was not calling out by the minute. I did it twice, and beforehand, I expressly communicated to you. I was like, I'm not in a rush today. As a matter of fact, today is one of the few times where I'm like cool and laid back about when we podcast, and you seem to be stressed out because you have other things to do this afternoon. So we are up against time constraints, but they're your time constraints. So I was like, I'm going to let you know what time it is just so you're aware. And I literally said, I'm in no rush. I'm just letting you know the time to keep you in line.
I have the time. I have the time.
Well, for someone who had the time, and there was
the time. I
zero sense of urgency. But anyway, we're here.
That's not true. Can I just
say all the? No, you cannot.
I really need to. I need to tell you the type of woman I am. There are women who do their hair and their makeup, and they are consistently like an hour off time, an hour and a half. You'll say, oh, let's go on a date at 7. They're ready at 7:45. I will say I'm either 7 o'clock ready or I'm 7 by 7:07. And guess that 7 minutes would make you like spiral and be like, you have no sense of urgency.
No. Anyway, we're here.
We're different.
We've kept on with the long-standing tradition of having a stupid fight right before we turn on the cameras. So I'm here. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. What's up?
I'm like, if I start somewhere, you're like, let's not start there.
All right, give it a try.
How was your weekend, Noah?
Weekend was pretty good. I honestly don't even remember the weekend. I was about to tell you. Oh, no, I do remember. I had a show on Saturday night. I had a local show. I very rarely do like local Vegas shows. I'm normally at a club or just not performing. This was like a bar show with locals, and it was actually very fun. The crowd came out. I tried out some new material. As a matter of fact, I tried out a joke that I did from Joke Yard, like one of our earliest episodes when I was digging through the archives, and it worked. So it was cool to see that actually help.
I went to the Backstreet Boys this weekend.
I don't want to talk about that. I'm just joking.
It was a friend's birthday. I was excited. I had been before. I was excited to go.
Was it better or worse or the same seeing it the second time? Like, is it like when you watch a movie where there's no longer a surprise because you know it's coming, but it allows you to also focus in on details that maybe you didn't appreciate or notice the first time?
The first time at the Sphere, the first time seeing the Backstreet Boys, seeing the visuals was very exciting. Like nothing I can explain. I think the very first time is just like, wow. The second time it was less of the wow, but like I understood the assignment very well. No one is prepared for the end of a Sphere concert.
Sure.
Where they literally are like, get out. And everyone has to just stand there and there's like nowhere to go. And you just have to like walk 10 miles to the next hotel.
So you told me something that you did with one of the girls that was in your group that I found surprising, that you were willing to do that from a hygiene standpoint.
Oh, well, I don't have crazy hygiene issues.
Well, why don't you share what?
I was wearing sneakers. The other girls were like limping, like they couldn't walk another step. And we had like a mile to go to get to where we wanted to go. And I said, let's switch shoes. She's like, no, don't. Oh my gosh, stop. I'm like, you cannot walk. Let me get your shoes on my feet. You can have my shoes. So I gave her my sneakers and I wore these horrible high heels.
Which is so kind of you, but all I could think about was sweaty feet switching footwear with another pair of sweaty feet. I was grossed out for her putting her feet into your tennis shoes that are enclosed and haven't let the foot breathe. And I was equally grossed out by you switching into a high heel that probably had like a wet foot sloshing around and being uncomfortable in it.
You're absolutely right. In a situation that feels like ew, why am I putting these shoes on? Ew. But just imagine you're on like Survivor or like a wilderness show and some like alligator chewed off your hand and you're like, yeah, I'm going to wrap this in a dirty shirt. Like, it's like you're dying and you cannot move.
I feel like it's slightly extreme, the analogy you're creating, but I understand where you're coming from. I thought it was incredibly kind of you to offer her a more comfortable pair of shoes so that
it was the example of why I'm a people pleaser, and it's not a good thing to be a people pleaser. I now have giant blisters on my feet.
I'm actually staring at the giant blister. So that's from the high heel that you swapped out with?
Yep. That's the kind of friend I am. And the girl was like, wait, what? I was like,
and she wasn't even a friend of yours. I mean, I'm sure you guys got along, but it's not even someone you knew. It was just a girly in the crew for the night. That's what's crazy. I would never in a million years switch shoes with essentially a stranger so that they could walk faster. But good for you.
Always. Every single time I go out, there is a girl limping in heels, and I'm like, you can wear my shoes. And I'm always in the right shoes.
You know what I did that night when I got home while I was waiting for you, though? I started doing a puzzle. Let me just say this. Our kids have gotten obsessed with puzzles, and I love that. Puzzles are great for the brain. I like seeing their critical thinking skills. The problem is, even though they're good for puzzles as a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, they think they're better than they are. So when we go select family puzzles, they choose these really intricate 500, 750-piece puzzles of like pictures where they bought a 750-piece puzzle of dog faces where there's like 150 dogs, and you know these kind of puzzles where all the faces look just enough where you're not exactly sure which piece goes where, and then they start it. We all do the border because that's the easy part, and then I'm just stuck doing the rest of the puzzle for a week because I can't stop. Once I've started, I also like doing puzzles, but now it's midnight on a Saturday and I'm doing a dog puzzle by myself because the kids chose it.
That's good. I feel like the heart of the puzzle, that means that you're spending more time. It's when puzzles get solved in 2 hours, I'm like, we picked the wrong puzzle. I need this to last for weeks.
I know, but I guess I'm like oddly enough doing the puzzle against my own wishes. I'm doing it because it's there and I can't stand having the table with the puzzle pieces out as a mess for the next month if the kids don't. And so like I need to get it started to make them come and put in their one piece every 6 weeks.
There's something about me that could care less. Like it would kill you right now if I just like grabbed the puzzle and went and like shoved it in the box. I would do it in a heartbeat without even without flinching.
Well, we talked about that. I can't. If I watch a show, even if I hate it, I have to watch till the end. If I'm reading a book, even if I hate it, I have to finish the book. Once the puzzle box is open, once the border is built, that puzzle's getting finished.
Do you finish books?
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay. That's crazy.
I don't start books often, though. I have not been reading nearly as much as I should or would have thought I would. Like,
I've read 9 Judy Blume books in the past month.
Judy Blume holds up. Moses is revisiting the Judy Blume collection. Or Moses is visiting the Judy Blume collection. You and I are revisiting as we read it aloud to him. And I have to say, Fudge, Super Fudge, Fudge-A-Mania, Fudge Bucks, it all holds up.
I like a story. I can't do all the magic stuff. I can't.
But yeah, I guess I am ashamed that 3 of the last 4 books that I've read were Fudge books. And I just, when's the last time you read a book cover to cover?
Ugh, I don't know.
I'm embarrassed to tell you. I couldn't tell you the last time I read a book.
I do so much self-help books, and by like chapter 4, I'm like, I'm healed. I don't need this or whatever. But yeah, it's cover to cover Fudge-A-Mania.
Yeah, I guess I don't have time to read because of all the sports that's on TV. Speaking of which, football season's right around the corner. How you feeling about that?
I dread it. I want to die. I hate it. I don't get it. It's men in tights smushing each other.
Now, I read, actually didn't read, I think I saw somewhere that there were like tests done where nothing makes a woman angrier than seeing a man on the couch watching sports.
Maybe. I think also a cluttered countertop makes us angry.
And I could understand a woman being angry seeing her man just on the couch doing nothing but watching sports if it's a man who has done nothing around the house. But because I do contribute so much to the parenting and the housework, do you, like, when you come home or even in the middle of the day, if you see me taking a break to just watch the game, does it make your blood boil instantly?
Am I seeing you take a break or am I just seeing you watching football? Like if I watch the whole thing of
Why can't two things be true at once? Why can't I be taking a break by watching football?
Because I don't know that. I don't know that what came before, what comes after.
What are you talking about? We spend every minute of every day together. You're always aware of what I've done right before or right after. What do you mean you don't know? You know exactly what I've done.
So if I watched you do a bunch of shit, then watch TV, that's fine. In fact, if there's no responsibility and children in the equation, I'm like, yeah, sit and watch TV. I don't care.
So it doesn't bother you that TV's just on.
It's
It's just about whether or not there's other stuff I should be doing rather than watching the game.
It's not even that. I think it comes down to childcare. It's like, as the kids get older, if the three of you want to sit on the couch like potatoes and watch sports, then I am free to do anything.
I actually think when the kids are in middle school, high school, you're going to love Sundays because it's going to be a free mom day as we just veg out for 8 hours watching NFL.
That's
together.
fantastic. And I love alone time. I don't need it would be fantastic. But the problem is you'll be like focused on sports and the kids are asking you a trillion questions and then you get irritated and it's like, hey, do something with the kids. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they are right now very annoying to watch sports with.
Worse than me?
Yeah, you're funny. I actually I wish you would watch sports with me more because you don't care about the game. So you won't ask me about the rules or why a certain kind of play just happened or why I want that team to score a certain way. You just want to know which men have been convicted of domestic violence, sexual assault, any kind of illegal activity, or you want to know, are they dating? Is there reality TV level drama surrounding their life? And so your commentary is actually entertaining in a way because you watch the game in a completely different manner that I would ever think to. And so it's at least unique conversation to have in the background, whereas the boys just drive me crazy with their questions.
I can't believe how popular football is. I can't believe it's sustained this level of popularity. Like, are you just as excited about this new season of football than ever before?
Absolutely.
How does it keep your interest?
Not only has it sustained, it's growing. There was, which I'm sure you could care less about, there was a news story literally today where Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, said that the NFL is definitely going to expand international, which means most people think the team is going to be in Mexico City, possibly London, possibly Germany. Those are the cities and countries that people have played in international games, but the NFL is expanding.
And that's exciting.
Yeah.
I wish that I could press a button and care. I truly wish I could.
I know you don't. It's okay. We all care about different things. One thing we both care about that's similar is we are going to New York this week. We have a family wedding. We have a gay wedding in New York.
I am a little confused because it's a gay wedding. I feel like that's permission to slay. You can look really good at the gay wedding, whatever. There is one night where the dress code is camp. Yes. And it's killing me.
The rehearsal dinner, their theme was camp, and I think they left it open to interpretation in terms of like, are we going the gay interpretation of camp like Met Gala camp, which no one knows what that means. I literally don't think.
I think it means like a corset and like basically
well,
like
I certainly don't know what it means for me. Or does that mean like Jewish summer camp? Like, are we wearing Birkenstocks with a tie-dye t-shirt and carrying around a water bottle?
I think it's so open-ended that it's going to be so confusing. There's going to be people in hiking attire and there's going to be people 100%. In corset ball gowns.
And I actually think there's going to be 10% of the party is gay or gay adjacent attendees of the wedding who are going Met Gala camp. And there's going to be another 10 to 15% who go Jewish summer camp. And then I think it's going to be 75 to 80% people who just dress normally, talking shit about both the Jewish summer camp and the gay Met Gala camp.
Yeah, they're just like in a black dress.
I will be part of the 80%. I'll be in khakis and a t-shirt.
That is if I can find a babysitter for that night. I might have to skip camp altogether.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'll do it.
No, we'll find someone.
We'll find, hey, Showtime guy.
Yeah.
Will you sit in our hotel room?
We will go on the subway. We will find someone who's willing to rent a movie while our kids sleep in the hotel room.
And then I want to show them the Statue of Liberty, and it's really funny because...
Well, you were a tour guide. You were a New York City tour guide.
I certainly was, and so I still have the jokes.
Professionally equipped to take us, and I actually never took your tour.
Well, they don't know. I don't know that I can give like the full Soho, Little Italy, Chinatown. Also, I'm really curious because our kids have like endless energy. I'm like, will they be able to walk 12 miles?
we are going to wear them out. I'm going to use every inch of New York City as an excuse to get them incredibly tired so they just sleep in the hotel.
And will I wear silver high heel pumps?
But do you think, I don't know how long it's been, but do you think you could still give your New York City tour? Like, I know you got the jokes. Do you have the information?
I could definitely give the New York City tour. There would be a little like kind of me filling in the blanks with bullshit, but I was always filling in the blanks with bullshit.
Fair. I just remember I felt so bad for you because this was before you had really gotten your just doing comedy, like before the specials, before you had made some real money doing comedy. And you were so scrappy and determined to just like make it in New York that you would be doing comedy all night, and then you would wake up at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and New York weather is so brutal that you'd either be giving tours in the summer when it was like blistering heat and humid, or dead of winter, -12 with a wind chill. And you would, either way, you would come back after like 8 or 9 hours just completely depleted, crying about the tourists who don't understand how to tip in America, how you gave it your all and you came home with $32 cash.
It was brutal. I'd have like frostbite on my toes.
I always respected that about you. There was part of that. That was an essential part of our love journey, because I would watch that and just like be like, wow, I really love her persistence. I love her toughness. I love her dedication to the fact that she's doing all this and suffering that hard because she wants to do comedy in New York.
There was like a photo I think I took where I was on the ground crying, and that was slightly a little bit of tour guide, but also just me versus L Train, and the L Train won.
It was.
The L Train just.
It was a photo I took to die. So what it was at a time we were taking boxing classes to try to get in shape for the wedding, and you came home after a hellacious delay on the train where I think you were just stuck in a car with no air going, and it's one of those things where you don't know how long it's going to be, and you probably missed something you had to come home to. It was just one of those days where New York completely beat you down, and you grabbed our boxing gloves and you went up to the roof of our apartment building and just airboxed. You just threw punches at the New York City air for like 30 minutes and then came back down sweaty, exhausted, and collapsed onto the ground and just started crying. And I took a picture just to document it. I mean, it was funny to me in the moment, but I wasn't taking the picture to make fun of you. I was just like, wow, this is absolutely a snapshot in time that we will always need to remember. And every time we look at this picture, we'll know exactly what emotion I'm capturing right here.
So we were like deep Bushwick, which was a choice, and there was
off the Wilson stop.
A lot of issues with that, but I'd say the biggest issue was like you go to Manhattan, do the tour thing, and then there's an audition, and then there's a show, and there's and if I decided to like, okay, let me go home, have a snack, change, come back, I'm like, nope. That's 5 hours. That's a broken train. That's not.
But it's so funny how you get conditioned for that to just be your life. And now we live in the suburbs of Vegas. We live in Summerlin, where like if a 7-minute commute turns into an 11-minute commute because a little bit of traffic or like a school bus stop, we're like, what a fucking nightmare out there on the streets today. Unbelievable.
Every single time we were also driving around New York, and every time we drove around New York, we were behind a huge trash truck.
Do you remember? Wait, were you in the car with me when I backed over a homeless person in our garage stealing electricity for their
in the car?
So there was like, so it was late at night. To be clear, he was perfectly fine and also in the wrong.
Well, he wasn't fine at all.
Well, he wasn't fine at all, but I'm saying
didn't injure him.
When I say I backed over a homeless person,
perfectly fine guy.
I was reversed. We had a parking spot. We had a parking garage spot.
That's huge.
In this Bushwick apartment. But it was like literally the dimensions of the garage were you had maybe an inch and a half to each side of the car.
You could fit a paper clip on each side of this.
You had to back in perfectly, and you had to start from the exact spot. So say all that to say, it's like 1 a.m. I'm getting back from a show. It's pitch black out. I can't see anything, and I'm slowly backing up, and as I get to like the perfect spot to back into the garage, I just hear like slapping on the trunk of the car, and they're like, stop! And I'm like, what? I instantly hit the brakes, and there was like a white male in his early 20s who was clearly down and out in his luck, who opened our garage illegally and was charging his phone on the electric socket That's what it was. He was like laying on the ground. He wasn't sitting up. He was lying down on the ground.
I didn't know there would be an electric socket.
He was using the electric socket in our garage to charge his phone, and I had like started to go where his leg was. He was fine. No broken leg, no broken foot. He left. I ended up back in the car imperfectly, but it was jarring.
And I found a homeless guy living in the laundry room.
That was our last day there. That was when we knew we had already decided to move out, but like literally because we lived in the basement unit next to the laundry. And I remember as we were like getting boxes from the hallway, we were just like, what is that? And I'm not being rude about a general homeless scent. It was like literally a drunk homeless man who was passed out with like piss all over himself, just laying on the ground of the laundry room in our apartment unit. I was like, yeah, it's probably a good time to switch units. This is all
standard.
Right. New York has a perfect way of letting you know it's time to go somewhere else.
And there was like screaming dogs. I mean, I
can't. We had.
There's always.
Have we talked about this on the pod?
No, we're always sharing a wall with loud animals.
Well, everyone, I mean, when you live in New York, you're always sharing a wall with a nightmare of some sort. I don't think anyone has ever been thrilled about the neighborhood situation of their apartment building. But there was a dog who we never saw this dog.
Two.
Well, there were two, but there was one dog in particular that the minute their owner left until the minute their owner came home would bark all day long. And you could hear it all day long. And then ultimately we found out it was like an aging dog who had bad anxiety. It was on back wheels because like their hips were so bad that it couldn't walk. So it was like an old anxiety-ridden dog who couldn't walk. But that doesn't excuse the fact that they barked all day long. So we politely hinted to the owners like, hey, is there anything you could do for the dog? It barks all day long. I even think I took a couple different videos from outside the apartment just so they could hear how constant the barking was. Didn't give a shit. And then I remember finally they responded. We're like, I'm really sorry. We're doing something. He's in pain. We're trying to figure out what to do with his anxiety. He's really old. And I don't remember if I delicately or indelicately basically said, do you have any sense of how long until this dog dies? Because we are deciding whether or not we're going to renew our lease. And I don't think we can stick around for another year in this building if this dog is still alive.
And the building, the worst, that was the second worst noise.
Well, we've already talked about the beeping. We've talked about it. Yes, we did.
The third worst noise.
Oh, you're not even talking about the beeping?
I'm not talking about the beeping.
Oh, the guys, let me get my motherfucking $20.
We were on the ground floor, so some of our apartment was on the basement, which was
two crackheads
next to the laundry. And then we were on the ground floor, so right outside.
There were two older crackheads. Two older crackheads that took refuge under our windowsill. So just to paint the picture of the apartment that we shared.
Voiceover
and none of this was what even made you go up to the roof with the boxing gloves to lose your mind. But yes, so just to paint the picture, the apartment we lived in for 2 years in Brooklyn had crackheads under the windowsill talking all day long, a dying dog barking all day long, and a beep that the fire department would not come and turn off. So we had 3 different sounds just circulating our apartment at all times.
Surrounded by homeless people in the garage, homeless people in the laundry room, homeless people outside of our window, which had to have an AC unit. So it was like very open window.
But you know what's funny? I still look back. Oh, and then on Sundays, there would be like a Puerto Rican bullhorn preacher screaming about Jesus in Spanish from the adjacent corner. So there was a lot going on. But I still reflect back on this as some of the best times in our life.
And the neighborhood, we kind of sort of convinced ourselves that this was like in the midst of gentrification.
It was the ungentrifiable part of Bushwick.
Like a fancy coffee shop would open up, and then Bushwick was like, nah, this isn't gonna happen.
I understand that we were 2 of the white people, not intentionally, but certainly just by our presence.
I was sort a broken mamanita.
Yeah, they actually thought you were Puerto Rican most of the time. But I understand we as white people were part of the gentrifying process, but it was ungentrifiable. And I am pretty sure that if we go back with Moses and Nathan next weekend, it will still not be a white part of Brooklyn.
I'm like, hey, we're going to go sightseeing. All right, let's take the L train and we'll get off on the 89th stop on the L train. And when we get there, we're going to see all kinds of crazy shit. This is the sightseeing. But I do have a memory of you trying to encourage me that, like, this is cool. The bodega has a juice place.
And then we instantly got sick.
Got juice from the bodega. And I was like, look, I got us
We
juice.
both instantly got food poisoning.
We drank it and then started peeing out of our butts.
And that
should be the end of
And that was sign
Brooklyn.
number 752.
But nonetheless, we fell in love.
We did. And then,
New York.
And then we moved to a place in Brooklyn, we moved to a place in Williamsburg, and then COVID happened. And then once again, I had an interaction with a neighbor where you were pregnant. So I was on high alert of COVID in the building.
Pregnant with the first
this is
baby.
like New York City, height of COVID, center of the epidemic. And you're, 7-8 months pregnant. So it's like any cough that I hear, I'm worried is about to give my unborn child COVID. And out of nowhere, our next door neighbor, we just start hearing uncontrollable coughing through the walls. And I slipped a piece of paper under his door asking if he had COVID, and was like, it's okay if you do. I'll go grocery shopping for you, but please stay inside.
See, you giving a letter to someone saying, I'll go grocery shopping for you is the kind of kindness that you give. I'm like, bitch, you can't walk. You can wear my sneakers. And you're like, oh, I could never.
Yes, that's true.
A different level of kindness.
That's true.
Now,
good point.
We somehow survived and got out, and it'll be very interesting to go back. I don't think. Well, we went and did the New York Comedy Festival last year, which was so cold. Why is November? I can't do it. So I'm excited to be in August.
Which is going to be probably so hot, but it's been 115 degrees in Vegas for the last month and a half, so who gives a shit?
And the kids want to go see Alexander Hamilton's grave. Now, I do one quiz question on the tour while I was there, and I said Alexander Hamilton was shot by the current vice president at the time. What other current vice president at the time shot someone while in office?
And I only know it's Dick Cheney because I've never taken your tour, but I've heard every word of the tour.
I just say random stuff. Also, I take up to the New York Stock Exchange and how it's kind of like a thing of the past because not a lot of people will go to the stock exchange. One time I went there. It is
good luck to like touch the bull's balls, right? That's a thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But specifically not just the bull's balls.
Oh yeah. I would take pictures of tourists from like Germany. I'd be like, kiss it. Yeah, get closer. I was a photographer the whole time, and I was just telling people what to do around New York City. But there was a Party City, I think, went public, and while I was a tour guide, and they hung a big Party City banner, and I convinced like 40 people on my tour that the New York Stock Exchange got bought by Party City, and it was just turned into a costume shop, and they believed me. It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, do we have anything for this week in Vegas?
I sure do. See, I come prepared. Who says I'm not prepared? Damn it, where is it? Where'd it go? All right, here we go. On Sunday, August 16th, a family arriving at Boulder Beach noticed what looked like bones and teeth in the shallow water near their young daughter. Fox News said he found a jawbone while his wife noticed what appeared to be dental fillings, strong evidence that the remains were human.
Sure.
The family calls 911 just before 4 p.m., and the National Park Service Rangers, Las Vegas Police, and Clark County coroner responded and recovered the remains. So far,
can we get an abridged version of what the news is? I don't want you to read the article. Just tell the news is that they're finding human remains in Lake Mead. Police said it was a
non-criminal dead body report, meaning no announced evidence of the crime. Not that the case has been solved.
Well, just because they announced it as non-criminal in terms of no crime has been solved, I would say it's certainly a criminal report that bodies are washing up in Lake Mead.
No criminal report. Do you understand? There is nothing criminal happening. No criminal report.
Well, you have the joke that I think you've joke-yarded before about how Vegas is the only place where let's go to the lake is a threat. And so, yes, it stands to reason that the bodies that are now suddenly showing up the bone fragments and remains are probably old mafia bodies that were buried at and that just speaks to the global climate crisis, to be honest. Like,
gold fillings is not the issue. The issue is the water has gone down, and we need I don't think that anyone in this city gives a shit about the dead bodies in the water. Everyone's like, it's not criminal, moving on.
It would be so funny if the mafia got behind climate change and like that became their progressive cause simply because they're worried that decreased water levels will uncover all kinds of bodies that they buried back in the 70s.
Yeah, I just feel like any other city would take this very seriously and be like, an investigation, we're doing a DNA. Everyone here is like, non-criminal. It just reminds me like a cop comes up, he's like, okay, swim in that direction.
I'm also imagining you take your family out to the lake for like a day on the lake and your precious little daughter is swimming and all of a sudden you're like, that's a jawbone.
Those are fillings.
That is someone's mandible with a cavity filling floating by.
Yeah, but it will tell you how old they are based on the fillings, because I don't think nowadays they do gold and silver.
Correct. Ours are all white.
And if it was Florida, someone with a metal detector would be like, and like get really excited about the gold filling. That is so creepy. I don't want to be swimming in Lake Mead.
I wasn't going to anyway, but now it's just another reason why when you suggest a family vacation to Lake Mead, I'll remind you of the floating jawbones in the water.
That's the city we live in. We have beautiful nature.
We
Lake
do.
Mead.
Wait till Hoover Dam dries up.
I just think it's so funny how little it seems like anyone cares about the dead bodies in the lake.
Again, if it was a dead body that was clearly put there recently, I think it would be a big story. A skeleton coming out from the lake, it is kind of like, what are we going to do? That's why the body's in the lake. That's why bodies get thrown in the lake. It's a great way to get rid of the crime, I would assume.
What are we going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Buy an apartment building in Brooklyn and let the beeps go off while it becomes a safe haven for dying dogs on wheelchairs?
Yeah, so that's an interesting city.
All right.
And does everyone know about Vegas's little lake situation?
No, I don't think most people even know Vegas has a lake because it's so synonymous with the desert that people don't equate any body of water with Las Vegas. But I don't think anyone would be shocked if you're like, hey, by the way, Vegas has a lake full of dead bodies. I don't think anyone would be like, what? Vegas? Like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. There's probably like jawbones floating, right?
They call it Jawbone Beach.
Jawbone City. Sin City, a.k.a. Jawbone City. All right. Do you have a joke yard? If not, I'll tell you an old joke that I dusted off, not necessarily hoping to joke yard to see if it will still work because it is a fully formed joke. It's just a joke I literally haven't told in 15 years that I pulled out at the Comedy Cellar because the late show Sunday, I was kind of eating it. It was, a late Sunday show crowd. No one was really there to have a good time. I was on show 14 of 14 for the week, so I was doing some new material that's not fully ready. But before the show, the ushers told us there's a really drunk couple that requested dirty jokes. So like 10 minutes into eating, I was like, all right, I heard there was a request for dirty jokes. Is that what you want? And all of a sudden the crowd woke up and was like, yeah, give us the filth. And so I busted out the joke that I literally have not told this joke in 15 years, and it worked. It was like riding a bike. And I'm just wondering, especially in today's political climate, is there a world where I bring this joke back? And it was when I was 18, I went to Amsterdam. I wanted to do everything that was legal. I wanted to experience life. So I got high, I ate some shrooms, and I slept with a prostitute. Had no regrets until I got home and read an article online that said that up to 60% of the female prostitutes in Amsterdam were at one point in time men who had a sex change. And then the crowd goes, oh, and I read that, said, God damn, that dude had some good pussy. And it's such a foul joke, and I don't know if it's pro or anti-trans. I know it
so well.
I know, but I'm like,
I think it's pro.
It's pro-trans, right? It's certainly, but yeah, I don't know. But is it worth even doing again in the act? Because it's never been on any of my albums or specials. I've never done that one to be recorded.
Your wife loves this joke. very
What
much.
about it do you love?
I'm joking.
Oh.
As your wife, I hate it because it's about whatever exactly it is about. And that makes me angry.
Yeah, but that was way before I
No,
met
I
you.
understand. But like as just a comedy person, I think it's a funny joke. I think it's great. And I think it's a good throwaway. It could just be.
So you would say keep it off the albums, keep it off the specials, but possibly have it up my sleeve for the late Sunday drunk crowd that ask for a dirty joke.
I also love a one-liner dirty joke to either.
Well, that's not a one-liner.
Not a one-liner, but a quick.
Yeah, it's a quick hitter.
I like a quick hitter dirty joke to kind of either open the crowd up or just to leave them confused and baffled. Just be like, hope everyone's having a great time. And you know what? I love traveling to crazy cities. And then you just end them being like, I almost think it's like a funny way to leave people.
Sure. Okay.
Where did you put it in your act? Right up top?
Somewhere sandwiched between when I was bombing up top and finished bombing at the end. I don't know. No, I mean, I did it like 10 minutes in. As I said, I think that actually turned them around and loosened them up a little bit. Sometimes, even if it's not a joke you like, you need to do like a jarring, filthy joke just to kind of wake the audience up if they're game for that kind of humor. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, so there's something in there that I should listen to.
Someone, it got in my head, but someone on Instagram messaged me and they're like, so do you still do comedy? I was confused by your profile. And I was like,
why? I feel like your Instagram profile has been more comedy than ever.
I don't know. And I was like, yeah, I do comedy. He was like, because I posted that I'm doing some health coaching.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I feel like it's a great thing to help people become healthier.
It's funny.
And
He's
I
like,
want to make money at 8 and 9 a.m.
Hey, I've noticed you got healthy. Do you still do comedy?
Yes, exactly.
Wait, you care about health. Are you still a comic?
Yeah. And I was like, well, I think it's okay to not need to be center of attention, telling jokes, egomaniac. And I gave him this like thoughtful answer, which no one in the world would ever to a stranger on the internet. And I'm giving him this like really thoughtful answer about why it's cool that I'm following a second career dream of mine. And he just responds with like, health coaching sucks, stick to stand up.
Oh, it's funny that your male troll is actually encouraging you to get back to stand up. That's funny. That is, I feel like there is a bit in that.
I was like, I'm helping people. He was like, nah, absolutely stupid.
I was fully expecting him as a male troll on the internet to be like, good, I'm glad you found something because comedy clearly wasn't working.
My insults are compliments. My compliments are insults. Everything's backwards. I did a joke, and instead of some guy being like, you ugly bitch, he was like, wish that skirt was shorter. And I was like, I'm insulted.
Well,
and complimented?
For what it's worth, I think the health coaching stick to comedy, there's a bit there.
Yeah, because it's not stick funny with your day job. It's quit your day job. You're amazing.
Well, also, like, there's something about how men are going to troll no matter what. Like, it's impossible to just have a nice start to finish interaction with a man online, but at least this guy, in being a dickhead, was encouraging you to actually continue pursuing your real first dream.
Plus, I'm a boy mom. I'm on apparently I am with the men.
Oh, by the way, just speaking of, while we're talking about comedy and Instagram, I get to play the most fun game in comedy over the next week, which is watching my followers go up and down, because today, once a year, it resurfaces where a popular Christian account will find my joke, The Jewish Perspective on Jesus, and Christians love this joke. Religious Christians love this joke.
Didn't a priest ask if he could play it for
Absolutely. Listen, art is up for interpretation, and the Christian community has decided to use this joke as proof of Christians' validity. So, this guy who has 300,000 followers reposted it talking about how he's never seen the belief in Jesus articulated like this, and it's so funny. And now I'm getting all these Christian followers, but it's funny because I watch it go up, and then I can tell when they like follow me off of that joke and then go look at some of my other content and instantly hit the unfollow button. So it's like, oh, this guy's got a great joke about Jesus, and here's a joke about his wife queefing while she was pregnant. Unfollow. And so I'm just doing the yo-yo dance of
it. Kind of reminds me of like, ooh, Sam Smith, he's wearing a cross. And then it's like, ooh, no. You walk into the store because there's something in the window, and then you're like, I do not need to be in this store. I think you're all over the place with your fans. The internet is a funny thing.
Ultimately, the ones who want to stick around get what they came for, and it's fine. The followers have been going up. But yeah, it's just funny, like when there's an influx of new Christian followers, and I appreciate and welcome all new followers. God bless you. I hope you enjoy all the
Jewish
content.
guy with a bunch of Christian followers. That's original.
Funny. That's funny.
It's
All
just
right.
so funny too that they're just like, "Hey, have you seen this Jewish guy speak the truth?" And I'm like, "Here we go again." And then the bit in itself has like a death and a reborn and a
Sure.
reframing of it all.
How about it?
Can I just say, I think that I know you don't like it when I give advice on things, but my comedy advice for anyone who wants to succeed: Jesus material. Do as many jokes about Jesus. Go for it.
That's bad advice.
Why don't you like it when I give you advice?
Stick to health coaching. All right, we've got some dates actually coming up. We've been talking about them for a while, but now it's
They're around
the
the bend.
corner. September 3rd, we are in Dallas.
Get your tickets. Those are selling out quite quickly.
September 23rd, we're in Tampa. September 25th and 26th, I am headlining Jimmy Kimmel's in Las Vegas.
I think September 24th, I will be at Wise Guys with Emma Willman. And
But
then
end of August, you have something.
August 29th, I am in Oklahoma City, which I'm thrilled about. And then Nashville is coming up. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you got some new Nashville dates in November, right?
Yes.
And then you're also doing the New York Comedy Festival.
Hasn't been announced yet.
Oh. Hey, guess what,
Hint, hint.
listeners? You just got a sneak peek into one of this year's New York Comedy Festival's headlining shows.
In Nashville, I will be there to host and do some fun stuff for the Kosher Hot Chicken Festival on the 7th of October. November.
No, definitely not October 7th. They are definitely a Jewish
the
festival.
Hot
Is
Chicken
definitely
Festival
not on October 7th.
on November 7th and November 8th. I'll be performing comedy there. And more dates coming your way. And look out, I might have a November
I think
New York City date.
September 30th, I think. I might be getting the date wrong, but you and I are both doing Spiro's show. It's a local Vegas show, Jokes and Fire, at a really good barbecue spot.
I like
So you got a lot of barbecue-based comedy shows coming up in the next 2 months.
who would have thought? Who would have thought? Oh, and I will be health coaching if anyone wants some coaching.
And I'll be talking about Jesus and black people on my Instagram
gonna
in case
give
anyone
some-
wants to start a race riot or a religious riot in the comments.
Are
Which
you going to start some like bets about football and talk about football?
I don't know.
Are you going to give some football tips?
No, I've been crushing it with the WNBA, but I've actually found that like when I talk to other people about it, the picks don't work out, and when I just mind my business, keep my mouth shut, and do my own bets, I've been doing pretty well. So I think I'm going to stick with that.
And you have to wear the right underwear and the right socks and sit on the right part of the couch?
You know, the one thing you never ask me about when I'm watching WNBA games is who has committed domestic violence or sexual assault.
No, I want to know who's sleeping with who.
The answer is everyone is sleeping with everyone.
That's
All right. Thank you for watching another episode.
It's against his will.